Welcome to Fantasy Audiobook, Black Four-Leaf Clover, from Check-In. Chapter 1 Signing in at the Magic Tower. In March, when fireflies and dandelions are flying in the sky. In the kingdom of Four-Leaf Clover, there are people over 15 years old who have magical powers gathered outside the magic tower. Once a year, during the conferring ceremony, the lucky ones will receive grimoire, which increases the magic power of the holder. It's been a year, and finally came to this place. A young man in ragged clothes took off his face scarf, revealing a well-defined and delicate face. Looking at the magic tower about 10 meters high in front of him, he showed a little excited expression. Activate the system immediately. Ding dong, the system is being activated. The host, please wait a moment. Ding dong, congratulations to the host for successfully activating the system. Please host, go to the magic tower to sign in before the magic book is granted. Ding dang, the system has detected that the host is currently 10,000 meters away from the magic tower, and temporarily unable to stay and check in. The task has been activated for the host. Please go as soon as possible. After the check-in is successful, you will receive a system reward. A year ago, Kuroba accidentally traveled to the kingdom of Four-Leaf Clover, becoming a refugee without even an identity card and magic power. In this kingdom that values class status, that is a worse treatment than death. If it weren't for his excellent psychological quality, and the emergence of a god-level check-in system, it would bring a glimmer of hope to Kuroba. I'm afraid it can't take a year to walk here. Right now, looking at the huge magic tower, Kuroba finally waited for this moment. Thinking of this, Kuroba quickly walked towards the magic tower without stopping. Since today is the annual magic book granting moment, for anyone, it is an important day to change fate. Therefore, when Kuroba arrived at the entrance, it was already full of people. However, his appearance obviously attracted the disgust of many people. His ragged clothes are enough to show that his status is even lower than that of a commoner. Hey, you refugee, get out of here quickly. Guard, what are you looking at? Letting a group of common people stay together with our nobles already damages our identity. Could it be that even refugees can set foot in such a sacred place? A pot-bellied man with a pig's head like the young man in Chinese clothes took the lead in yelling. As soon as these words came out, it directly attracted the attention of everyone in the field. Not to mention the nobles, even the common people cast disgusted eyes. After all, worship when you see a high, step down when you see a low, this kind of thing, in any social group, there will never be a shortage of such people. In particular, the pig-headed nobleman obviously had a considerable status, and suddenly attracted a crowd of more than a dozen noblemen. The magic guards stationed around, with a flash of hesitation on their faces, still walked towards Kuroba. They have magic books, but they are just ordinary people. For the nobles, they still hold inexplicable awe. Seeing the people surrounding him, Kuroba frowned. It was rare for him to come to the magic tower, and he didn't want his efforts to be in vain. Quiet, give me all the silence. Today is a good day for the magic book to be awarded. Anyone who arrives here is fate and may become a magician. I am the tower owner of this magic tower. I sincerely wish you all the best. Become the magic emperor. An old voice sounded suddenly. The people who were coming to surround Kuroba were attracted one after another. The pig-headed boy who made trouble just now, seeing the appearance of the tower master, just turned towards Kuroba, wiped his neck, and then looked away. For anyone, getting the magic book is the most important prerequisite. It is also the most urgent desire. Ding dong, congratulations to the host for successfully arriving at the sign-in location. Now the sign-in officially begins. The sign-in time is 1 minute. I hope the host will not quit halfway, otherwise it will be considered a sign-in failure. The ethereal voice of the system resounded in Kuroba's mind, adding a gleam of joy to his face. At the same time, the tower master, who shunned the guards, looked at Qin Feng one more time. A trace of excitement flashed across his withered bark-like cheeks. He suddenly raised the scepter tightly in his hand, and started to yell. Give the magic book. The old man's words spit out, instantly tightening everyone's nerves. The huge scene suddenly fell into an inexplicable dead silence. Immediately afterwards, the magic books on the bookshelves on the surrounding walls seemed to be drawn by invisible forces. Light up various magical lights. In the next moment, he turned into a meteor all over the sky, and went straight to the crowd gathered below. I got the magic book. My magic book is so big. My magic book looks thicker. I will definitely be able to become a magic knight in the future. One after another exclamation sounded in the field. As long as you have magic power, you will be able to get the magic book when you come to this magic tower. Of course, there are exceptions. For example, people who do not have magical powers themselves. It seems that I, a stowaway, can't get the magic book just by normal means. Kuroba had already expected it in his heart. Therefore, the current result is not surprising, because he is hanging on the wall. As long as he waits for another half a minute, the sign-in task will be successful. Me, I didn't get any grimoire at all. What the hell is going on here? Me, I didn't get any grimoire at all. What the hell is going on here? An urgent cry that violated harmony suddenly sounded in the crowd. Hearing these slightly familiar words, Kuroba suddenly felt not lonely. Haha, what's the matter? I can't even sense the magic book, and it's embarrassing to come here. However, this looks, on a humiliating level, quite powerful. He is not the only one who is such a useless servant. Look at the refugees over there. They also don't have magic books. If you let him go just now, if you don't leave, it's embarrassing now. The scene suddenly became full of laughter. Compared with Asta's bewilderment, Kuroba instead looked to his side, another boy. Since they bumped into each other, you know who had the four-leaf clover magic book should be there too. You, look, that servant actually owns the four-leaf clover magic book, that's amazing. He is the star of hope in the local area. It's impossible for that kind of common people to get the four-leaf clover magic book. The atmosphere in the arena changed suddenly. It can be said that the same people are the same people, one has a four-leaf clover magic book, and the other doesn't even have a magic book. This gap is too big. At least, compared with the much anticipated Asta standing beside him has become a bigger stepping stone. Ding dong, congratulations to the host for successfully signing in, the mission reward, grimoire, the one-leaf clover fairy, and the ultimate magic power. The sound of the system suddenly sounded. When hearing the fairy grimoire, a stream of information went straight to Kuroba's mind. The next moment, under the suddenly rounded eyes, a white cold light bloomed like a torch. The berserk magic power, like a raging wave, suddenly swept away with Kuroba at the center. The dozen or so people who were a little closer flew out in all directions as if they were hit by a hurricane. A little further away, those who were still immersed in the surprise of the four-leaf clover magic book hadn't reacted yet. Then I felt a huge oppressive force, like Mount Tai pressing down on the top, blessing on my body. Bang bang bang. Some people with slightly weaker physical fitness were immediately oppressed by this invisible magic power before they had time to think about it, and fell heavily to their knees on the ground. Some people with slightly more powerful magic books can only barely stand upright with the help of their own magic power to actively resist. Looking around the field, the only person who can stand as usual is the tower owner of this magic tower. However, at this moment, the old man's bark-like cheeks were also full of shock. When Kuroba passed through the gate of the magic tower, he clearly confirmed that the boy did not have a magic reaction. He didn't get the magic book later, which also proved his judgment. Now suddenly erupted, this terrifying magical oppressive power. This means that the strength of the magic power of the young man in front of him can at least reach the third-class existence. In the kingdom of four-leaf clover, the magic base is divided into 9 classes, 1 being the most and 9 being the second. As for the above, there is also the existence of the so-called zero domain. But the mages who can reach the third class, without exception, have not gone through years of training to become the deputy head, or even the existence of the head. Thinking of this, the tower master couldn't hold back first, and hurriedly looked into Kuroba's hands. Upon entering, the surface of the magic book covered like ice crystals, and the marked level made him look shocked. You vagrant, dare to attack nobles, this is a capital offense. The pig-headed boy roared anxiously. For a nobleman, being forced to lose his composure in public is a great shame. Come on, quickly destroy this refugee. I'm willing to pay 10 silver coins. Whoever kills him will be rewarded. I'll give you a gold coin. The hysterical roar of a group of nobles directly attracted the attention of everyone in the field. In the four-leaf clover kingdom, a well-defined country like this, Kuroba's magical runaway scene just now is enough to sentence him to exile. What's more, there must be a brave man under the reward. 10 silver coins are enough for the common people to live for more than half a year, and 1 gold coin is worth 100 silver coins, which can save them a year of hard work. Most importantly, getting this gold coin can also be exchanged for magic equipment, which will increase the odds of winning for the next assessment of the Magic Knights. For a moment, not to mention the nobles, even the surrounding people cast fiery eyes on Kuroba. One person may feel fear, but dozens of people emerge with ambition together. It's easy to get carried away by greed. Watching this scene, Kuroba smiled playfully. This year has been quite aggrieved, and now I can just express my grievances. The violent wave of magic power dissipated all of a sudden. After looking around, Kuroba raised the magic book in his hand and said, "I said, everyone here is rubbish. What I have in my hand is just a magic book, do the trash want to share it together?" Rubbish. Losing the oppression of magic power, the pig-headed nobleman finally regained his breath. When he saw that the ice crystal-like magic book in Chin Yu's hand was indeed only 1 leaf, he roared angrily. "You vagrant, dare to say that we are rubbish, even a leaf of magic book dares to act wild here, give them all to me, whoever kills him, I will give 10 gold coins." 10 gold coins. Under the huge amount of wealth, people's greed is undoubtedly detonated in an instant. In particular, in their cognition, the strength of a wizard is measured by the number of leaves in the magic book. The 1-leaf clover magic book in Kuroba's hand instantly made them ignore the sense of horror and oppression of magic power just now. Kill him. A mere refugee, no one will hold him accountable if he dies. Don't let him escape. Shouts of killing exploded in the huge magic tower. Dozens charged directly at Kuroba. However, they just got the magic book, so they are obviously not familiar with it, let alone use it. In Kuroba's eyes, this is simply a group of stragglers, not worth mentioning at all. Facing the massive impact, Kuroba suddenly raised his head, the white cold light in his eyes became brighter and brighter. Grabbing the void with his right hand, the ice crystal was cast into a magic book, which was directly suspended in front of Kuroba. As if there is no wind and automatic, when you quickly turn the first page. There is a name on it impressively. Grey Fulpasta. This is a member of Fairy Tail. According to the information flow poured into the system, Kuroba clearly knows that this blade of grass magic book is just the beginning. A piercing chill permeated the moment the magic book was unfolded, causing the temperature of the huge magic tower to drop suddenly. Let the old man who is the owner of the tower change his face suddenly, and shouted anxiously, "You run away quickly, that kid is weird." There was a sudden exclamation, and the pig-headed noble who was leading the charge was startled for a while before they could react. The words that fell on their ears shook their nerves. Too late. Ice-shaped magic ocean. The awe-inspiring voice came out of Kuroba's mouth. Biting cold wind, the moment the voice fell, the magic book floating in front of Kuroba burst into dazzling white light. Facing the void with both hands, he pressed it suddenly. The white storm, like a raging tide, directly detonated with Kuroba as the center. Hoo-hoo. The cold wind is like a tide, and the sky is full of hoarfrost. Wherever they passed along the way, whether it was the charging civilians or the so-called nobles, they were under the bone-piercing wave of cold wind. Unable to resist a blow at all, it was directly frozen under the watchful eyes of everyone. For a moment, with Kuroba as the center, within a radius of tens of meters, it directly turned into a world of ice and snow. The same goes for the walls of the inner tower. The only thing that makes people feel fortunate is that those who watched the magic book being awarded, and those who did not make a move, were not harmed. As soon as you get the magic book, you can cast magic, the ultimate magic power of the 3rd class, and the super precise control ability. Who is this boy? The old tower owner looked at the scene of the ice crystal world in front of him, and looked at Kuroba's. His gaze was full of disbelief. Completely forgot. Rescue these frozen civilians and nobles like statues. As for the onlookers, they were also shocked by the scene before them. It can be said that Kuroba's performance just now directly covered up Yuno's 4-leaf clover aura. Trash is just rubbish, it's not worth mentioning. Kuroba muttered, and put away the magic book with his backhand. His eyes fell on Asta and Yuno, and after a short pause, he turned and left. Just now, the prestige was playing tricks, but the burst of magic power and the first shot undoubtedly consumed a lot of Kuroba's energy, and his stomach was rumbling. At the same time, not far from the magic tower, a golden streamer quickly flitted across the sky. That extreme speed left only a series of afterimages along the way. The next moment, it suddenly stopped in midair, and after the golden light dissipated, a middle-aged man in red noble clothes was revealed. If someone is here, I'm afraid they will definitely shout, Magic Emperor's name. A pair of wise and deep eyes, as if piercing through endless time and space, looked at the location of the magic tower. Immediately, a strange color appeared on the chiseled cheeks, and he raised his brows and said, "It's such a powerful wave of magic power, I didn't expect to be able to encounter it in such a small place. This level of magic power is completely comparable to the level of the deputy head of the knights. Today is the time when the magic book is awarded. Has there been any good seedlings?" Some rare magic still appeared. Thinking of this, the Magic Emperor directly showed the usual funny appearance that would only appear when he was curious. Directly choose the direction of the magic tower, and leave through the air. As for the magical connection from his confidant Marx, he even broke it directly. The distance of more than 10 miles can be reached in a blink of an eye under the full flight of the Magic Emperor. When he landed in the magic tower, he was shocked by the scene of the ice and snow world. Yes, it's Magic Emperor, he actually appeared here. I don't know who exclaimed, and the melon-eating crowd in the field were full of surprises. Yuno also showed a shocked expression. If he hadn't pressed Asta's head in time, he might have rushed out to worship. The tower owner of the magic tower was also shocked, but he was more relieved, and hurried forward and said, "Dear Magic Emperor, it is really gratifying to see your lord here. What happened just now, allow me to describe them all." Facing the so-called strongest Magic Emperor in the four-leaf clover kingdom, the old man obviously became low profile. "Old Tower Master, you don't need to be cautious, let me figure this out myself." Magic Emperor looked around with a smile. After the golden light on the right hand points toward the square below, the scene that just appeared just now reversed quickly like a horse watching a lantern. Although it was just replaying everything that happened just now like a phantom. However, falling into the eyes of everyone, it almost made their eyes shine, and directly pushed the Magic Emperor's force to another level. After the golden light dissipated, the scene of walking around watching the lanterns in front of me had completely dissipated. Seeing this, the old Tower Master hurried forward and said, "Magic Emperor, it was the old man who made a mistake just now, and made this big mistake. However, that kid is indeed a good seedling. I hope Magic Emperor will raise his hand." In the eyes of the old Tower Master, Kuroba acted arrogantly, but the cause of the incident was also the group of nobles who provoked it first. Moreover, in the freezing attack just now, Kuroba did not cause harm to other innocent people by virtue of his superb magic control ability. Old Tower Master, you are serious. In our four-leaf clover kingdom, such a good seed has emerged. As Magic Emperor, I will certainly not bury him." Magic Emperor laughed dryly and said, "What's more, that kid didn't kill him just now. Even if I didn't show up, these frozen people will be released after a few minutes. By that time, they will have a cold or a serious illness." Speaking of this, the Magic Emperor looked at Yuno and said, "It's just that I didn't expect that besides that strange one-leaf clover magic book, there would also be a boy with a four-leaf clover. It seems that our four-leaf the clover kingdom will become stronger and stronger." Magic Emperor, you were right. The old Tower Master quickly agreed with a smile. For Kuroba, a good seed that emerged from his own resident, the old tower owner didn't want to bury it. After all, after a lifetime, in such a remote border area, it is already very good to meet a good seedling. Not to mention, met the second one. Okay, I also have important matters to attend to. If you see that kid, please inform him to participate in the Magic Knight's assessment. I'm looking forward to everyone's performance." Magic Emperor raised his hand and smiled, then snapped his fingers. The dazzling golden light, after blooming on his body, directly enveloped the entire magic tower. After the golden light dissipated, the frozen situation in the arena collapsed immediately. As for the figure of Magic Emperor, it also disappeared. At the same time, after Kuroba left the magic tower, he was thinking about where to stay temporarily. The sign in reward just now, let Kuroba have the character grimoire from Fairy Tale. Along with his sign in rewards, the more Fairy Tale character magic appears, the higher the leaf level of grimoire in his hand will be. What a clover, 4-leaf clover is just around the corner. Most importantly, the magic he can use is not limited to one kind. Ding, a new check-in task is released. Please host as soon as possible, find the chain maniac Yi Bukchi, and then step on his face to sign in. After successfully signing in, you will receive system rewards. Kuroba was taken aback for a moment, never expecting that missions would come so frequently. Originally, I planned to heal my belly first, but now I see that this idea is about to go to waste. However, Kuroba has mastered the upper third level of magic power, but his magic combat experience is still almost blank. Now that there is a chance to fight, it can be regarded as more training in advance. Asshole, who wants to give up on this? I, Asta, am the one to become Magic Emperor. The Magic Emperor was so handsome just now, but only was remembered, but I was not remembered. By the way, and just now, that cold guy looks very strong. Next time we meet, I must challenge him to become the Magic Emperor. I'm the only one. Hysterical shouts came not far away. Kuroba frowned, and immediately revealed a playful smile. Originally, I planned how to find the chain demon. Seeing Asta now, then should be not far away. The magic book of the 4-leaf clover is a temptation for the chain devil. Are you going to challenge me? The unexpected voice came from behind Asta, and he couldn't help but shudder, then hurriedly turned his head to look behind him. The first thing that came into view was the person he threatened to challenge just now. The step that was originally standing on the branch of the tree staggered and fell straight down. Boom! The sound of a heavy object falling to the ground sounded, and Asta, as always, has a strong physique that cannot be beaten to death. Seeing Kuroba suddenly appearing in front of him, Asta stuttered and said, why are you here? I did say that I wanted to challenge you. By the way, your magic trick just now was really cool, and after you left, the Magic Emperor also appeared. After saving those people, he will let you participate in the next assessment of the Magic Knights. It seems that our next contest will be staged soon. Speaking of this, Asta's high-spirited momentum shrank suddenly. I don't have a magic book yet. As a servant, if you want to become a master in the 4-leaf clover kingdom, the most basic thing is to participate in the assessment of the Magic Knights. The Magic Knights are also the most powerful embodiment of the 4-leaf clover kingdom. Where can I get high rewards? By accepting tasks, in exchange for experience, guidance in learning magic, and various magic equipment. It can be said that as long as one is a mage and has a magic book, there is only endless yearning for the Magic Knights. It is also the most fundamental way to become a Magic Emperor. Don't worry, you will have a magic book soon. The magic power in Kuroba's body surged, trying to turn into a vortex to levitate under his feet. However, the sudden surge of magic power dispelled his thoughts. He just obtained the ultimate magic power, but the control is still a bit immature. In the magic tower, it is okay to avoid the attack direction on a large scale, but the fine operation is still lacking. To solve this problem, the Magic Knights is a good place to go. Seeing Kuroba falling in front of him, Asta quickly got up and said excitedly, do you also think that I will definitely get the magic book? I knew that besides there are people who believe in me. I'm going to exercise now and try to work hard next year. While talking, Asta planned to leave quickly, but was quickly stopped by Kuroba, saying, wait a minute, your sense of smell is better than ordinary people. Find whereabouts. There is a fugitive here, who specializes in snatching magic books. I happen to be short of money. You mean, someone is eyeing magic book? Asta couldn't help but startled for a moment, and said anxiously, this is absolutely impossible. Is going to become the Magic Emperor, only I can defeat him. Then hurry up and find it. Kuroba urged, shaking the back of Asta's head. In the face of Asta, who is naturally dumb, he still needs to use some extreme methods. Asta woke up suddenly, not paying attention to Kuroba's head shaking kill at all, and quickly lay down on the ground, changing positions one after another, sniffing, and suddenly looked behind the mountain not far away. Is in that direction, and there is another person's taste. Anyone else? Kuroba smiled in relief. It seems that the chain demon was not easily scared away because of his intrusion. Let's hurry up, you keep up with my pace, can only let me beat you. After determining the direction, Asta quickly got up on the ground, shouted and rushed out. However, as soon as he took half a step, he felt a biting chill coming from behind. Turning around in a hurry, I saw the magic book in Kuroba's hand, turned into ice crystals, flipping quickly and automatically without wind. Catch me, I'm going racing. Speaking inexplicably, if Asta was startled first. The next moment, before he could react, a piercing chill swept across Kuroba's feet. Ice-shape magic. Ice takes the shortcut. Boom. Ice crystals spread rapidly under Kuroba's feet. An ice road with a width of 7 or 8 meters quickly spread forward. The speed was so fast that it spread to the way down the mountain in a blink of an eye. This is too powerful. You are much stronger than when hit me. Asta's eye sockets almost burst open. As an old opponent, there have been a lot of unilateral challenges with Yuno. But looking at Kuroba, who can create an ice road with the magic of ice modeling alone, this is not comparable to Yuno. However, facing this scene, Kuroba frowned slightly, still a little dissatisfied. According to his idea, it is to make the ice road as small as possible. This will not only reduce the magic consumption, but also increase the speed of magic spread. But with Kuroba's current control methods, the 6 or 7 meters width is clearly at its limit. Of course, if outsiders know that a newcomer who just got the magic book can not only cast large-scale magic, but also control the casting range so accurately, they will already be envious and jealous. Who would complain over and over again like Kuroba? This stepping on a horse is comparing people to people, and it's right to be mad. At the same time, Yuno, who possessed the 4-leaf clover magic book and was also remembered by the Magic Emperor, returned to the magic tower after getting rid of those pursuing civilians. Looking at the heavy door that was closed again, Yuno frowned slightly. Is this the 3rd-class magic strength? It doesn't seem to be very powerful. Give me some time, and I can do it. Yuno muttered, feeling the fluctuation of the remaining magic power in the magic tower. As the owner of the magic book of the 4-leaf clover, he should have attracted the attention of everyone. It never occurred to him that the limelight would be overshadowed by Kuroba's appearance. Most importantly, he glanced at it and saw that the magic book in Kuroba's hand was obviously only 1 leaf. It was for this reason that he couldn't wait to find the master of the magic tower to check. Thinking of this, Yuno, driven by his ambition, reached out to push the door open. Puff! Suddenly, the sound of piercing the air echoed, and 2 black chains with fluctuating magic power pierced through the sky, wrapping around Yuno's body first. The violent scene made his expression change suddenly. Before he had time to think about it, he quickly activated the magic power in his body, intending to break free from the chains on his body. However, the moment the conscious thought moved, the magic power was like a stone sinking into the sea, unable to move at all. A sense of powerlessness was sincerely generated in my heart. Hehe, one of the protagonists today. I guessed a long time ago that you brats are too competitive, and you will definitely come back to investigate, but you are still too young as brats. A soft laugh suddenly came from behind. As soon as Yuno's expression changed, the 4-leaf clover magic book on his waist was picked up by the chain and flew away. It fell into the hands of a hideous, disfigured man. Creating magic binding iron chain formation. This trick can limit the captor's movement and magic power. Now you are no different from a lamb to be slaughtered. After playing with the 4-leaf clover magic book he had seized, the disfigured man slightly rolled up his long hair, showing with a ferocious half of his cheek. He said, I forgot to introduce myself. Not long ago, he was a member of the Magic Knights, Chain Magic Yabuki, and his name should be quite famous. Unfortunately, apart from you, the magic book owned by that boy who plays with ice is only 1-leaf grass. Otherwise, no matter what kind of 3rd-level magic power he has, under my chain of sealing magic, it is just a joke. Playful laughter echoed between heaven and earth. Yabuki's expression suddenly changed, and before he had time to think, he quickly pulled away and retreated quickly. The place where he was standing under his feet turned into ice crystals in an instant. 2 figures gliding quickly, 1 step ahead, appeared in front of Yuno and Yabuki. It's you, Yuno and Yabuki exclaimed in unison. They never expected to meet this madman at this juncture. What's the matter? You don't seem to want to see me. My 1-leaf clover magic book is not popular, or you are afraid. Kuroba said playfully. Yabuki's face darkened all of a sudden, and he said, Little devil, you are showing off in the magic tower, but in front of me, you are no better than a fart. Now I'll give you a chance, get out immediately. Roll. Kuroba met his gaze and smiled warmly. Originally, I just thought, you lie on the ground obediently, let me step on your face for half a minute, I don't bother to care about your little troubles. However, I've changed my mind now, and your head looks pretty good. The small voice, at this moment, seemed to be infused with magic sound, reverberating in Sifang Tianyu for a long time without being able to dissipate. Yi Bucky's face darkened, and he roared ferociously. Okay, what an arrogant person, today I will show you what the difference is. Creating magic binding chain array. Puff. The whistling sound of the air suddenly sounded. The magic chain that was originally wrapped around Yuno's body burst into magic waves in an instant. The next moment, 4 or 5 strands were extended, and quickly wound towards Kuroba. The sudden attack made people feel caught off guard, and it took Yuno and Asta to react. The chains were tightly wrapped around Kuroba's body. Seeing this scene, Yi Bucky's face showed ecstasy. He never imagined that this brat, who was so arrogant beyond borders in the magic tower, would fall into his hands so easily. Haha, kid, weren't you crazy just now? Now it's in my hands, so what if you have the third-class magic power, under my chain magic, you are still a fish to be slaughtered by me. Yi Bucky he laughed ferociously. However, as soon as his eyes fell on Kuroba's body, what caught his eye was that warm smile. Huo Ran raised his head, and the words that fell in his ear made Yi Bucky's expression froze suddenly. Surprises are full of surprises. Any surprises are surprises. Yi Bucky was startled, and immediately shouted anxiously, what's the surprise? I forgot to tell you that my chain magic can not only restrict your actions, but also imprison the magic power in your body. Now, as long as I move my mind, you will surely die. Did you mean magic power? The smile on Kuroba's face was even bigger, and he said, just now, you were in the magic tower, saying that I have the third-class magic power. However, do you really think that this is my limit? Boom. Kuroba took a step forward, and the magic chains wrapped around his body were suddenly tightened with a clang, making a crisp metal collision sound. That feeling was like being overwhelmed and shivering. However, this is just the beginning. One step down, the second step forward. The magic power dormant in the body exploded with the fall of the steps. The violent air wave vented like a raging wave. The seemingly indestructible chain, under the impact of the tyrannical magic power, quickly shattered inch by inch, causing the pupils of everyone in the field to shrink suddenly, and even the eye sockets almost burst open. That kind of magical oppression is exactly the same as when it was in the magic tower. The third-class magic strength. However, all this is just the beginning. When Kuroba's third step fell, the magical power that had already reached the third level continued to rise, like a volcanic eruption. Boom! The majestic wave of magic power swept across the sky in all directions like a flood that broke through the embankment. The white magic beam of light even soared straight above the clouds of the 9 heavens. The accumulated lead cloud in the sky was suddenly penetrated. The rocky land where Kuroba landed was even more overwhelmed, crumbling and spreading. The huge oppressive power turned into an invisible frenzy, covering the land with a radius of 1 kilometer. The weather-beaten magic tower, which seemed to be a solid wall, shattered and cracked directly. Facing this frenzy of magic power far surpassing the magic power of the upper third class, Yi Bucky and Yuno, who were the first to bear the brunt, were directly crushed to the ground with a plop. Facing the sudden rampage of magical power, Yebuki's face was as white as paper, and he raised his head to look at Kuroba with difficulty and exclaimed involuntarily. This is not the third-class magic power, it is the first class, no, it is the zero domain above the leader. Zero field. Yuno's face suddenly changed. Compared with Asta who has no magic power, Yuno is a genius, but he clearly knows what the zero domain is. That is above the 9th level of magic power, and it is said to be the closest existence to the magic emperor. If it is said that the third-class magic power is comparable to that of the deputy head, the first-class magic power is the ordinary head. Now, with the strength of the magic power that Kuroba is displaying, in the huge 4-leaf clover kingdom, there is probably not even 10 fingers that can overwhelm him. Recalling everything that happened in the magic tower, Yuno finally understood why Kuroba only showed the upper third level. I'm afraid, all of this is just to avoid hurting the innocent. When I thought about it, I was still thinking about it a moment ago, and I could reach the upper third level of magic power. However, facing the zero-domain magic pressure now, it would be scum in seconds. Okay, the show is over, and it's time to end now. Kuroba smiled warmly and walked towards Yi Bukchi. Seeing the figure approaching gradually, like a death urging him to death, a trace of madness flashed across Yi Bukchi's face, and he roared ferociously. I will not lose, my magic chain Yi Bukchi, I will never lose to a brat. You step into my attack area now, die to me. The hysterical roar echoed between the heaven and the earth. The magic book in front of Yi Bukchi flipped quickly, and violent magic power surged out, obviously reaching the maximum output of him. When he suddenly raised his head and glared, Yi Bukchi roared again. Chain snake dance. Puff. The giant python formed by 7 or 8 chains shot out from the magic book at such a high speed that it approached Kuroba more than 10 meters away in the blink of an eye. However, in the face of all this, Kuroba didn't seem to care at all. With his right hand bluffing, the magic book in front of him, which was cast like ice crystals, erupted with mad power in an instant. Ice-shape magic. Ice spring. The endless cold air is like a cold wind blowing backwards. The incoming chain python stopped tens of centimeters away from Kuroba. The next moment, it was frozen in the void. Bang bang bang. The ice protrudes, shooting out from Kuroba as a starting point. Gives a fountain splash-like feel. Wherever it passed along the way, ice cones and icicles rose rapidly on the ground. Which kind of feeling is like the ice blade wave slash performed by the big dark sky in the underground. This is modeling magic, which transforms into various shapes and postures in the form of ice. A large stretch of ice crystals finally gathered under Yi Bukchi's body. Before he could react, the sharp iceberg that bloomed like fireworks directly penetrated Yi Bukchi's body. Scarlet blood splashed down like a tide, and the whole body was torn apart like cloth. The huge head, with round eyes, rolled down in front of Kuroba in an unbelievable manner. Seeing the head rolling down in front of him, Kuroba kept his expression on, and stepped on Yi Bukchi's face. Over the past year, as a refugee, he has long been used to seeing life and death. At the same time, a lot of enemy blood was stained on his hands. In this world where the jungle preys on the jungle, killing and being killed are just a matter of thought. Ding dong, it is detected that the host is stepping on the magic chain, and the head of Moi Bukchi is signing in. Please wait a moment, the host. Ding dong, congratulations to the host for successfully signing in, obtaining the ultimate magic power control, and activating the character panel. Ding dong, the next sign in person, please host to go to the Magic Knight's exam site to sign in. The ethereal voice of the system sounded again. Kuroba just felt a warm current go straight to his mind, accompanied by a roar echoing. The magical power that came out through the body seems to be closely related to Kuroba. No, it should be said that the current magic power gives Kuroba the feeling that it is like siblings, and can be manipulated as he pleases. Compared with just now, it is a world of difference. Thinking of this, the magic power that swept out of Kuroba's body first stagnated for a moment, and then quickly returned to the body like a whale devouring it. Kill. Asta, who had lost her magical oppression, exploded first, dancing and yelling. Even Yuno beside him turned pale. A moment ago, he showed the tyrannical magic power of Zero Domain. Now he instantly killed a former magister of the Magic Knights. This level of strength simply far exceeded his expectations, like an unattainable mountain. Asta, shut up. Kuroba opened his eyes after feeling the ultimate control in his body for a while. According to the plot of the original book, Asta should get the devil's magic book that repels magic here. Don't call. You killed someone. I should call, Asta said naturally. However, he was quickly stopped by Yuno's probe, looked at the unfathomable Kuroba in front of him, bit his lip slightly, and hurriedly stepped forward and said, I don't know who you are, but I advise you to hurry up. Well, if someone comes, you're going to get in trouble. Go. Kuroba looked up at Yuno and said, excuse me, I promised to help that idiot get a magic book. Asta's magic book. Yuno couldn't help being startled and said, now that the magic tower is closed, it is impossible for Asta to get a new magic book. For Asta, Yuno was more or less disappointed in not being selected by the magic book. After all, the two have always been competitors. He also thought about sneaking into the magic tower secretly, looking for the old tower owner, and giving Asta one more chance. However, if an outsider were to come forward to help Asta right now, he would not want to see it. It can be said that Yuno seems to have a different feeling for Asta. For you, it is impossible, but for me, there is nothing impossible in this world. Kuroba refused. With his eyes fixed, the magic power in his body was mobilized instantly. He did not master the detection type of magic means. But this doesn't mean that Kuroba can't pass through the tyrannical magic impact and find the hidden magic objects around. For example, when a person is impacted, the magic power in the body will also be subconsciously mobilized to resist instinctively. Not to mention, a magic book that lurks the devil. Boom! The violent magic power, under Kuroba's precise control, detonated without warning. It turned into an air wave and swept away. The violent scene made Yuno's nerves tense again. While hastily clutching the lost magic book in his hand, Kuroba swung his right hand towards the rock not far away. Ice modeling magic, ice gun. Boom! The spear transformed from ice crystals instantly shattered rocks more than 10 meters away. Under the tense gravel, a black-red light shot out like a sharp arrow. Head straight for Kuroba. However, before Yuno could react, the black-red light suddenly stopped 3 feet away from Kuroba. After the shrouded light dissipated, a rusty black magic book appeared. Seeing this sudden scene, Kuroba couldn't help being startled. The devil inhabiting the magic book won't change his mind, will he stare at himself? The second magic book. Asta yelled in surprise. Even Yuno was awakened suddenly, and said in disbelief, "No, it's impossible. A person can only be selected by one magic book in his life. It's impossible for you to have a second one." Yuno is right, I don't even have a magic book. Asta bit the corner of his shirt, almost crying. A person not only possesses 0 magic power, but also possesses 2 magic books at the same time. This stepping on a horse is more popular than others. However, facing Asta and Yuno's questioning, the devil inhabiting the magic book seemed to be responding. The magic book suspended in midair quickly flipped automatically without wind. Finally, under the watchful eyes of everyone, it suddenly opened. Endless blood-red colors, like thick blood, converged into a fuzzy figure about the size of a foot on the magic book. The moment those penetrating eyes fell on Kuroba, a hoarse voice sounded. "Lucky boy, your battle just now was really exciting, which made me choose you. I forgot to tell you that I am an elf with powerful repelling magic that inhabits this magic book. You should be happy because I have chosen you." Cheng's voice revealed a bewitching taste. However, looking at this devil who claims to be an elf, not to mention Kuroba, even Yuno and even the most natural Asta are unwilling to believe it. "It's too ugly, I'm not interested." Kuroba touched the tip of his nose and said. He is not interested in devil. If, like Asta, his body falls apart every time he uses it, then that's no good. What's more, he has too many secrets, especially the system he owns. Before he grows up, he doesn't want to take an old man with him. No, it should be said that it is devil. No, Asta and Yuno who were present couldn't help being stunned. Even the devil inhabiting the magic book is no exception. It never occurred to them that Kuroba would say no. In their cognition, they have always been selected by the magic book. When have they ever seen a magic book that was blatantly rejected? Boy, think about it clearly. I'm very powerful. I can repel magic and can nullify all magic. Devil hastily tried to persuade him. After all, if you can lean on your thigh, who wouldn't want to lean on a thicker one? With 0 magic power, the starting point is unattainable. No, don't get in my way, or I'll burn you. If you insist on looking for thighs, there's a natural guy over there, so make do with it. Kuroba refused again. After casually picking up the head of Yi Bukchi, the man in chains, he turned around and raised his hand, and left Devil aside, then turned and left. Watching this scene, Asta and others finally understood that Kuroba was not joking. In the eyes of outsiders, the awesomeness of the double magic book was completely ignored. Only Devil remained with a bewildered expression. Bastard, bastard, Devil roared angrily. However, looking at Kuroba who had already disappeared, he could only pause, gritted his teeth, turned around and flew towards Asta. Before Kuroba appeared, Asta was indeed his best target. Now that the better ones are gone, there is no choice but to retreat and choose one. Boy, I am the elf inhabiting this magic book. I have powerful repelling magic. You are my chosen boy. You should feel happy about it. The familiar seductive dialogue came out of Devil's mouth. It was Yuno, the muscles on his face couldn't help twitching. He has seen shameless ones before, but he has never seen such a shameless magic book. There is no morals at all. However, before Yuno could react, Asta on the side already prostrated himself on the ground with a plop. Thank you, elf, for choosing me. I, Asta, finally have a magic book. Yuno, have you seen it? A loud shout of ecstasy resounded, pulling Yuno back from his thoughts. After seeing the devil's response from Asta, he collapsed and retracted into the magic book. That impatient gesture was obviously a sigh of relief. After all, the moment before, hit a wall in front of Kuroba. If there is still no sense of presence in front of Asta, I am afraid that the devil, who claims to be an elf, will be aggrieved to death. However, in this scene, the 5-leaf clover magic book devil, which was originally played in a tall way, suddenly became cheap. It's just that the magic book has a feeling of unknown origin, but looking at Asta, holding the magic book, kissing and rubbing, it finally solved the problem that Asta has no magic book. However, thinking about what happened just now, Yuno couldn't help clenching his fists. After all, becoming Magic Emperor is his goal. And Kuroba, who possesses 0 magic power, must be a stumbling block on his way forward. Half a month later, the 4-leaf clover is in the imperial capital. As the test venue for joining the Magic Knights, it was empty at this moment. Seeing the embarrassing scene in front of him, Kuroba touched the tip of his nose helplessly. He seems to have forgotten that the Magic Knights entered the group test, but half a year later. Looking at the venue as huge as the Colosseum in front of him, Kuroba still decided to try to sign in. Ding dong, congratulations to the host for arriving at the test venue of the Magic Knights. Please wait a moment for the host, the system is checking in. Ding dong, the test of the Magic Knights has not started yet, the host failed to sign in, please try again later. The ethereal notification sound of the system made Kuroba petrified all of a sudden. I thought that even if the entrance test of the Magic Knights hadn't started yet, they would be able to sign in successfully. Unexpectedly, this also has a precondition for signing in. According to this situation, it can only temporarily dispel this idea. Get out of the way, the people in front, get out of the way. A shout suddenly sounded. Kuroba frowned and followed the sound. Soon, you can see that 7 or 8 trainee wizards are walking with support. As for why Kuroba believed that they were trainees who had newly obtained magic books just like himself. That's because these people did not represent the costumes of the Magic Guard or the Magic Knights. Not even the most basic magic badge. Moreover, many of these people are also famous. I'm sorry, I'm the one who got everyone in trouble. A pretty voice of apology suddenly sounded. I'm sorry, you have a magic book, a waste that can't even cast magic, can't you say it earlier, you were making us a waste, and you are a waste. The head of the big man who looked like a giant bear roared angrily. All of a sudden, the girl with silver white hair and 2 ponytails, her eyes turned red, said with a slightly crying voice. Didn't you already know when I accepted the task? You said that as long as I get half of the reward, there will be no problem. HMPH, we didn't promise you. If you are sensible and plan to stay in the Adventurer's Tavern, just follow what I said, go to the tavern and voluntarily give up the mission rewards. Otherwise, don't blame us for being rude. The big man turned his head and glared angrily, and immediately led a group of people to the crowded tavern not far away. The rest of the silver-haired girl secretly clenched the corners of her clothes and followed with red eyes. When passing by Kuroba's side, the girl bowed slightly and said, I'm sorry, you were scolded just now. After leaving these words, the girl walked quickly to the tavern. Seeing this scene, Kuroba couldn't help but frown, and a name flashed in his mind. Noal Silpha. In the original book, he was born in one of the 3 royal families and possessed the upper 3rd-class magic power, but he didn't have the slightest magic power to control the inferior geniuses. Kuroba remembers that the Silpha family has a total of 4 brothers and sisters, and the eldest brother is still a big eagle. No, it should be the leader of the silver-winged vulture. Among the 9 magic knight orders, they are all able to rank high. However, the nobles valued their own strength the most, and when Nuoal was born, his mother died of dystocia. Later, After his father died in battle, Noel was expelled from the royal family because he could not control the magic power. Although, from time to time, the family will help one or two, but this so-called helping is just a formality. Just Kuroba didn't expect to meet her in this kind of place. Ding dong. Random sign-in task. Please host to sign in at the Adventurer's Tavern within 1 hour. After successful sign-in, the system will give random rewards. The ethereal sound of the system suddenly sounded. Kuroba raised his brows, completely unaware that another random task popped up just after hitting a wall. However, now I'm idle anyway, just to kill time. Thinking of this, Kuroba followed quickly. Boom. The door of the tavern was kicked open. The injured big man walked in with a group of team members with a sullen face. Although it was daytime, many adventurers had already gathered in the tavern. Most of these adventurers have magical talents, but cannot enter the magic nights. I am not reconciled to being a farmer. In order to survive, they generally like to accept some entrusted tasks in the tavern, gradually forming an adventurer's guild. The most frequently seen tasks include escorting caravans, crusade against monsters, guarding villages and so on. Haha, O'Neill, it seems that you, an idiot, are really planning to move that woman's mind and take her on a mission. A man standing in front of the bar, who looked like an iron tower, was the first to laugh. Outwo, aren't your brothers the same? They both intend to sniff women and take women on missions to fight against monsters. You are a joke. That kind of woman who can't even use magic, whoever touches it will be unlucky. TCH, you people can talk easily, why don't you say it, you just touch it on the bed. Unscrupulous laughter echoed in the tavern, making the tavern extremely lively for a while. Nuo Al's pretty face turned pale all of a sudden. She had already tried this kind of scene many times. Originally, as long as she revealed her royal identity a little bit, she would be able to shut up these people. After all, in the four-leaf clover kingdom, there is a strong hierarchical status. Among them, they are divided into refugees, servants, commoners, nobles, royal families, and royal families. This kind of offense to status, as a member of the royal family, as long as one gives an order, he will surely die. However, when he thought of his own existence, it was just a shame to the Silpha family. Nuo Al turned pale and clenched his fists. He lowered his head so much that his chin was almost buried in his chest. She just hopes that she can quickly hand over the task and leave the tavern immediately. Kuroba walked in after him. In the original book, he also knew a little about Nuo Al, but he never thought that Nuo Al would have this kind of life before joining the Black Bull. It seems that this noble is not easy to be. Ding dong, congratulations to the host for arriving at the Adventurer's Tavern. Please wait a moment, the host is signing in. Leaving halfway will be considered a failure. It takes 1 minute to sign in. 1 minute, Kuroba couldn't help raising his eyebrows. This is longer than the previous sign-in time. However, if you can get a higher reward, it may not be a good thing. What's more, Kuroba also wanted to know the difference between the Adventurer's Tavern in the Imperial Capital and the mission organization in the countryside. Hey, don't hurry up and hand over the task, we have to go to the treatment. O'Neill's big man turned around and urged angrily. Nuo Al, who followed behind with his head down, hurriedly followed, took out an iron plate on his body, and handed it to the old man in front of the bar who was in charge of handing over the task. Seeing this scene, O'Neill snorted coldly with disdain. Hand over the bronze level, resisting the quest of Warcraft, this is the quest item, Goblin's Fangs. Also, kick this woman out of our team, and transfer her reward to my account. Thanks for watching, please like and subscribe.